Pasu, and welcome back to another episode of me talking about the best show of this season. SukaSuka, or the one with a really long title. Such a great episode. And the writer knows how to hit your emotions like a boss. And to be honest, the light novel version of it, it's the most depressing light novel I have ever picked up. And the only ones that could come close are visual novels, which is Narkisu and Aiden. They were only two on the planet. Both are available in English, just saying. So, SukaSuka episode 2. We got so much more information, especially about the girls. And also a nice development for the characters in terms of how they act around each other and what the heck is going on. So let's dig into it. First, we learn in this episode that the girls are fairies, and they're the type of fairies that are used as weapons. And they're used in a disposable way. They are indifferent towards themselves and each other. They don't fear death, they don't feel pain. It's just that it's just the way it is. And there was this really cruel scene where one of the girls fell down and was bleeding, and the others were like, well, yeah, pick up the ball. And Willem was shocked. He was really shocked because it isn't normal. This is not the way it should be. And hell yeah, I totally agree with him. But what can you do? It's just the way they are. And it makes up for a really interesting story that is about to come. Because what if those fairies find something meaningful in their lives? Will they be able to continue moving on like this, not caring about death? If it's just something that will come and that's it? Or will it be something more emotional? Will they start fearing it? Will they start clinging to their lives? And I really think that this is a great way to start off this episode. And it's also a great way because before this happened, Willem made something that the girls are opening up to him. So he was making sweets, this caramel pudding dish, and the kids were loving it because, come on, it's sweet. Kids are loving sweet things. I mean, I love sweet things, so yeah, it makes sense. And there we got another flashback of Willem when he was back in the orphanage and he was there as the father figure. And all the kids around him were waiting for him, and he had the tray with sweets. And it really shows how how much he just wants a normal life. And let's be honest, Willem as a protagonist, he is such a good one that it hurts so much to see him suffer like this. And it's not even the way of suffering that you get from these edgy shows that are fine the way they are, because they are like this. But this one is so much more profoundly depressing and beautiful, because let's be honest, Willem is the last human, and all the people he knows are dead. He's basically left alone, and now he is in that warehouse being the caretaker of the girls as that are the weapons. And yet to him it feels like the orphanage, and he is in that father figure, and he is caring for all these kids, and he is confronted with the feeling of sadness, the flashbacks to the past, and the memories of the people he knew, he loved, those who were close to him, and he has to deal with it and move on. And to be honest, this is so much better, and not just because of this, but even because he is kind of the good guy with a good head on his shoulders, and he is reasonable. He has his own common sense, and now he is confronted with the situation, and it is not going to be easy for him. I'll be honest, it's going to be one hell of a ride. I mean, it's also obvious that he really, really cares for Kotori, and now she said that she's basically has 5 days left, and she's going to fight that beast. And he realized that, well, the only way they can deal with it is if she is going to blow herself up and blow the beast up with her too. And come on, this is just so sad, and it really makes me want to cry, because why is it that the girl that was basically created was born for this, and he who is still alive and now can't do anything like back in the days? Come on, it's just cruel. It's really just cruel. But yeah, it's just the way it is. And I think, especially as someone who is reading the light novel of it, this second episode did a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job in setting up these things, building up to the, let's say, emotional highlight of this episode, which was the dialogue between Willem and Kotori at the end of the episode, but also the cruel reality of what these girls are. And also with what weapons they are fighting. And yeah, it's going to be tough for him. I really feel sorry for him. But on a lighter note, let's not just talk about the sad, cruel and depressing things. Let's talk about the comedy. Okay, let's be honest, this show is not a comedy, but it has every once in a while quite the funny line to it. And this time it's once again with the troll woman who was licking Willem's cheek and he was freaking out and she was, well, even when you're in agony, you look very delicious. And Kotori was freaking out with, well, you're an adult. It doesn't mean you can do anything. And the other one was, well, I get the caramel and the honey. So, yeah, it was a nice line. I really had to laugh, but it's needed for this show. It's really needed. Every once in a while we need a funny line that is making us laugh. Otherwise we would just sitting in the corner and bawling our eyes out because it's just so depressing. But good lord, the music. The soundtrack of this show, it is so fucking awesome. It is so good. It is so fitting. And I checked out who the composer for the soundtrack is, and I think it was the one who did the OST for Shokugeki no Soma and Fate Collide. So, yeah, on a musical note, this is one hell of a show. And we finally got to see the opening. Nice opening scene. The choice of the song, it's not bad, but I'm not really sure if it's the perfect fit. But maybe it can grow. But yeah, long story short, it was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful episode, and I can't wait to see the next one, because I really love this show. It's so good. So yeah, that's it for now. Talking so long about this episode and this show in general. Damn. Well, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.